get you some. Oh, yeah. Mate, it's lucky she can cook. Wow! G'day, lovelies. Welcome back. Alrighty, I am absolutely loving the Chuck's pastry, also known as shoe pastry. Did I get that right, Chris? So today we're going to be making chocolate eclairs. First thing we want to do is preheat our ovens at 200 degrees Celsius. We want to grab out at least one baking tray with baking paper. I will write the recipe below as always. Alrighty, first up for the Chuck's pastry, we need 1 cup of plain flour sifted. We want to add 1 teaspoon of plain white sugar and then set that aside. We now want to crack 4 eggs into a small bowl, whisk them up with a fork and set them aside. Now into a saucepan we want to get 75 grams of butter and we need a wooden spoon. We want to add 1 cup of water and a pinch of salt. We want to stick it on the stove top, put it on a medium heat, melt the butter and then bring it up to a boil. Alrighty, now it's started to boil. We want to grab our sifted flour and sugar, put it straight in. And then we want to stir full on with our wooden spoon. Once it clumps together and it leaves the sides in one, see how it's leaving the sides? And it's clumping together, straight off. Stick it straight in a bowl. Set a timer for exactly 5 minutes. Alrighty, 5 minutes is up. Okay, now we want to get our beaten eggs and we want to put 1/3 of it in. And we want to beat it up with a fork until smooth. Okay, once it's into one clumpy mess again, we now want to add another 1/3. And same thing. And then the last of it. And then we want to just keep beating it a little bit until smooth and glossy. So for eclairs, we're going to need 2 teaspoons this time. Now, back in the good old days, I'm going to call it, this was the teaspoon. And these are the teaspoons of today. Alright, so I'm using today's teaspoons. Alright, so we need 2 of them. Now we want to get heaped teaspoons. And we want to put 4 of them in a row touching each other. And then I'll just get the backs of the spoons and just join them all together. Put them in the shape of a log. Once our first lot's done, bang them in the oven. Set our timers for 10 minutes. Alright, now our 10 minutes is up. We want to turn our ovens down to 180. Alright, now we set our timers for 20 minutes and we want to see how they're going. My last batch took 28 minutes, but every oven's different. So set it for 20 and check them. Okay, so I might have been a little bit heavy-handed with the first lot. So today I'm making 6.5. Oh my god, mate, this lot took 25 minutes, but they're huge. So the bigger they are, the more cream you're going to need. So instead of doing a double heaped teaspoon, just do a heaped teaspoon. Unless you want them huge. Alright, so now we just get a knife or a skewer and just rip a few holes in them to let the steam out. And now we want to chuck them back in the oven and set our timers for 3 minutes to dry them out. And that, my friends, is our first batch done. Now, if you don't have a cooling rack, it's alright. Just chuck them out onto your bench. Now we want to turn our ovens up to 200 degrees for the next lot. Give it 5 minutes to heat back up. Whack them in. Set your timer for 10 minutes. Do it all over again. So with the eclairs, I like to cut them open while they're hot. So I cut them down the guts. And open them up. And I'll leave them sit there for about 5 minutes, and as soon as they've gone completely cold, I'll close them back up again and leave them sit there. Okay, now this lot took 20 minutes, and as you can see, they're only a little bit smaller than the last lot. I love this half one. Have a look at it. That's probably a perfect size if you want to do like little... Aww. So yeah, you can do them any size you want. Now, I think I forgot to say, how you know they're ready is when you pick them up and they're really light. That's when you know they're ready. Alright, shit, I should have pricked them. Alright, I'll just prick them all. Back in for 3 minutes. While they're cooling down, we want 600 ml of cream. 1/4 cup of icing sugar. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract or essence. And then beat the shit out of it with an electric beater. Once that's done, I'm just going to chuck it in the fridge till we need it. Alright, to get the chocolate ready, you need a saucepan and then a bowl that sits on top. So last time I used a 180 gram block of chocolate and it was enough. You can use any chocolate you want, whether it's normal, dark, or I love white. But today I'm doing dark chocolate. So I'm going to chuck 180 grams in there and stick the kettle on to boil. So the eclairs are cold. So I'm just going to put a bit of water in. And set that aside to melt. And then I'll just get the eclairs and spoon it in. Now remember, it's real cream. It's not that cream full of air. So you don't need to fill them right up like you would, you know, in the bakery ones. And fill them all up. So what I've done is I've saved the baking paper. Now you can cover them in chocolate any way you want. This is just the way I quite like doing it, to be honest. Alright, so I'm going to put that on the paper. Now I'm going to get them in a row. Alright, I'm just going to stir the chocolate now until it's all melted. Once it's melted, take the bowl out of the saucepan and make sure you wipe the bottom of the bowl so there's no water. Now I'm just going to pour it over. You can't have chocolate, Ned. Whoa. Got my way. Look out. Go sit down. So now I'll leave them sit there for 5 minutes just to let the excess chocolate drop off. Then once it's dropped off, I just pick them up whole, and if you haven't got this, you can just put them on plates, and then I'll stick them in the fridge without covering them for about half an hour till the chocolate sets. Well, there you have it, lovelies. Chocolate Eclairs. Give them a crack. Your family's gonna love them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome day, and I'll see you soon. Toodles.